Finally, it has happened, JB.
Yes.
It has happened.
Yes.
We finally have Sherry Priami at the Women's Bodybuilding channel. Finally, the moment is here. Thank you, Sherry, for coming on.
Thank you, Will.
We saw you last year. We got to say, it was one of the most amazing jumps we've seen from women's physique to women's bodybuilding. The last three, since I can't remember. Fantastic transition. Talk to us before we go into every detail about anything we want to know. How proud are you that you're now a woman's bodybuilder?
I'm actually very proud. I'm excited about it. It wasn't something that I had initially set out on my journey to have happen. But now that it has, I'm really excited to represent this division. I think that it's going in a really good direction, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
What made you take the decision in 2022 to make the switch to women's bodybuilding?
It was, we had kind of talked about it, my coach and I, a little bit prior in the season, and we weren't sure that I had the size to do that, but I come really hard and really conditioned. It's just how my body responds. And we weren't sure if it was the right fit for WPD. Everybody keeps coming in, very conditioned, but the guidelines keep stating that they want them to be a little bit softer, no striated glutes, things like that. So, in order for me to get like my legs completely conditioned, my glutes get striated. My upper body always comes really hard and really conditioned before the lower. So in order to get the symmetry of conditioning, the balance, that's just how my body responds. So after getting me dieted down, my coach thought that my structure and my size was enough for women's bodybuilding. And we just thought we'd give it a try in Atlanta. And if it didn't, show well, or I wasn't big enough, that we would in Chicago just go back to WPD. So it was really just on a whim. I decided to switch maybe 2 to 3 weeks out from
that close.
Yeah. So I had to try to learn the poses and switch my routine and do all those things like really last minute. But I was like, sure, let's give it a try.
But one question.
Yes.
So you learned all the women's bodybuilding posing in around 2 weeks' time from physique?
Yes. But not as well as I wish I would have. One of my biggest critiques in Atlanta was that the judge came up and said, you didn't win this show because you didn't know how to do a rear lat spread. And I did.
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope ACOC listens to that. But anyway.
Like the rear was great. At the, when we came off the stage, she was standing right there and she showed me how to do a rear lat spread. But, pre-judging was done. I missed that show by 1 point. So, I took it for what it was and, went back, and I still don't think even in Chicago, my posing was great. So I've been working on it for this year. We're not going to show up, not posing right this year.
But this is very interesting to us. So you didn't train for specifically more size for women's bodybuilding? I
did not. We've actually been holding back. My coach doesn't.
What?
Yeah. Because I was trying to fit into that women's physique parameter, not feeding me as much as we did this season. So I'm really excited to be able to, I like to train hard. So I'm really excited to kind of open that up and let my body respond the way that it wants to.
So for the whole prep for Tampa, your debut, you didn't know until you were 3 weeks out, and you keep restricting your calories and whatever to make it to come not as big as you could have for the Atlanta show. How much did you weigh?
I think I stepped on stage at like 145.
So if you would let yourself fit into women's bodybuilding all the way from the beginning, you probably have a good 5-6 extra pounds there then.
I think so. I mean, we've put on about an extra 7 in this short off season that I've just had. So, if I hopefully by the grace of God win a show and make it to the Olympia, I hope to, we keep adding size. So that's the plan.
Wow.
JB, she didn't even train for women's bodybuilding, and she was second last year JB and myself, we watch women's bodybuilding with, like, what do you call it? What do you call it in English? Like, it's the glass, you see things bigger. What do you call that?
Magnifying glass?
Correct. And last year, it was not a good season, but your shows were the most stacked shows of all women's bodybuilding. And you made second. You lost by 1 point to Miss Olympia 6th place finisher, Haycock, huh?
Right. And went to head with Angela, you know, so I felt pretty good about that. She's second in the world. Of course, I wish I would have won, but I think I wasn't my time. I think that this year's my time. I'm putting on enough size to be able to step on the Olympia stage and be competitive. And like I said, I'm learning the poses. I'm just getting more comfortable in this division. And so I feel like, you know, hopefully this year's my time.
JB, do you remember the Angela versus Sherry battle where we saw the most conditioned athletes we've seen in women's bodybuilding at the time battling it out? Oof. We didn't know Angie was, we know she was great, but we didn't know she was going to be the second best in the world. And that was a close. You must feel very confident now for this season. Very confident.
I do, because last season I was really uncertain about my size. I know that I'm one of the smaller girls, or at least I was last year, and so I was doubtful because of that. So hers, becoming second in the world and solidifying that you don't have to have a ton of mass to be a successful female bodybuilder is encouraging, and not just to me, but I think it's encouraging for other women looking to jump into this division. A lot of people had told me, some coaches and things prior, oh, you should do women's bodybuilding, but I was just so hung up on that I needed a lot of mass. And I know you guys love mass. I know that.
JP, we love, but the judges don't. So,
well, I mean, I don't think the judges don't. There's still Hella. She's got great mass. She's third. Andrea Shaw. She's has a lot of mass too. So. I think the judges now are just looking for a little bit more femininity. I hear that word a lot. They still want us to look like women, and I agree. And I think that's important for us to maintain this division and not lose the popularity, so that we have people that are still wanting to see us.
But can't you be big and feminine? Isn't feminine also your hair, your makeup, your presentation?
Yes.
Can't you be big and feminine?
Yes. But I also think in the past, some competitors have taken it too far, and done some things that changed that. And, so there's a fine line between, I don't think being, having mass takes away your femininity, but some things that you have to do to get that mass for some women can change your femininity.
Okay.
We see.
Yeah. But what's more risky though? Getting bigger or getting in the extreme conditioning we see from you and Angela and Branka and Aka? What's most dangerous?
For me, I would say putting on the mass, because I get conditioned. That's just how my body, and same with Michaela. I think that our bodies just respond that way. I've never had an issue. I mean, I don't do, but maybe, last season I did 40 minutes of cardio at the most. 3 times a week.
That's it?
That's it. So
how lean do you stay off your contest weight around in the off season?
Probably around 20 pounds over stage.
Okay, so you have a little bit extra there though.
Yeah. We're using some different techniques to stay conditioned. Instead of actually doing cardio, I do a lot of just posing for 15-20 minutes straight for the cardio endurance. But I don't have to work. I shouldn't say I don't have to work hard. It's hard, but I don't have to do a lot of risky things to get conditioned. So I hope that I can put on more size and keep that conditioning. That's the goal. So I don't know. I'm always speaking for myself.
JB and myself, you're very old school. So when we hear femininity, we get like this is almost sexist, because what about the girls who's not so feminine and all this? But we've noticed the athletes themselves, we just are very into the word feminine, and it seems like the new generation of athletes really want it that way. And so who are we to not say it? So it's that's the most of the athletes, they would want to like to have it this way, correct? Is this something you speak with other girls about, or is this
I think so. I mean, I've had a conversation with a couple of the other girls, and we agree that this is sort of the new era of female bodybuilding, and we're glad that it's that way, and we're glad to represent that. I have mixed feelings on using the word femininity. I watched the interview, or I don't know if it's the interview, but on the Olympia TV, they were doing the commentary about the Olympia and how the girls.
It was. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah. So I was upset a little bit with, we don't want to see striated glutes on female bodybuilders. It's not feminine. We should save that for the men. It's bodybuilding. Conditioning, symmetry, size, shape, those are all components. And it's bodybuilding. So it's not a beauty pageant. We're not there to be, it's not a beauty pageant, it's a bodybuilding contest. So to say that women can't have conditioning or striated glutes, I think is ridiculous. Maybe not in figure, maybe not in WPD, according to the guidelines.
Well, women's physique has some nice shredded glutes, don't they?
Absolutely. So, you have to go off of what the judges are rewarding. But to say that it's not feminine, I think is ridiculous. It's how do you determine, okay, you want me to get conditioned and you want my legs to be, peeled and my upper body, but you don't want my glutes to be conditioned. You can't spot what's conditioned and what's not conditioned, just like you can't spot reduced fat. No. So to say that, I was a little bit irritated.
Because we also, JB is also seeing some of the judges' feedback when they say the glutes are not in condition, so and they get marked down. But so when we're not going to mention the name of the judge, but Angie placed second, and if she was being softer, she would not have been second.
Exactly.
Branca was hard as a rock, and she would definitely not be top 5 if she wasn't hard as a rock. Right. Same with Acock. So how do you take this feedback and because Andrea Shaw she is like something special. We don't see that at all of anyone else. So
we all have positive attributes. Andrea has amazing round, full muscle bellies. The shape of her body, it's she's genetically gifted, and she works hard, and she's beautiful, and she is feminine, presents herself in her posing, and that's also part of femininity. It's the way you present yourself.
Yeah.
We don't have to get up there and pose like men, real stiff and robotic and hard. Get up there and still be flowing and feminine with your presentation. Put some effort into your hair, put some makeup on, look feminine. But you can still have a lot of mass and be a big bodybuilder and do that. And as far as like the conditioning, Andrea isn't as conditioned as Angela, but that's not Andrea's thing.
No.
Angela, I think, is a lot like me. Like, we just get conditioned easy. Same with Michaela. Maybe, it's easier for smaller girls to get conditioned. I'm not sure. But that's an attribute that we have. And it's the same in men's bodybuilding. Not all the men can get, really hard and conditioned, but that doesn't take away, from the ones that can't. They have their own special attributes. But it's bodybuilding. You can't take certain components away from women and say it's only for the men. We're all people.
Before we go into the Vancouver thing, and before JB, you're going to get some questions in, just want to ask one quick question. JB, you can think about something epic to ask after this. So, just a question. When you saw the wrap up with the Olympia judges in this, and then you hear the judges saying that Andrea Shaw is more dominant than Sydney Gillen. She doesn't have to be in super condition to win. The other girls are way far away, he said. And he said Angela needs to be less conditioned to look better. I don't know how that is, but How do girls like you who bring that nasty condition, and you know that Andrea doesn't need it at all, how's the game plan to try to win the Miss Olympia? For you, for ACOC, for Angela, like, because you guys have 30 pounds less muscle.
Right.
But not on the frame, not necessarily in less muscle, but you know what I mean, in pound. Yeah. What's the game plan here now to try to take, because if you're not in it to win it, there's no point to be in it. So
right.
What's the game plan?
I think the game plan is just to bring the best you that you can bring. I mean, you need to make sure that your body, has good symmetry, the top and the bottom match. You need to make sure that, you don't have any underdeveloped body parts. You really need a complete package. I don't think you win a show because you're conditioned. And I don't think you win a show because you're the biggest. It's a complete package. It's your whole presentation. You can, come and have a great package. Like, I feel like last year I didn't present myself well. I didn't pose the way that I should have to really make myself look the best. There's so many different components that you just have to bring the best you can't, we're all so unique and so different. You can't compare yourself. And we all know how subjective it is. I mean, I beat Chelsea and Sheena in Chicago. A week later, turned around and they beat me. So you just don't know how it's going to go. You need to just focus on you and focus on doing the best that you can do to build the complete body that you have. And just, that's really all you can hope to do. And to know that every time you step on that stage, that you're more improved than you were the year before. And as far as that gap, I mean, I personally, look at, was it Rising Phoenix where Mela came in second to Andrea? Was that?
Yes, that's correct. But it was still a perfect score for Andrea, though. It wasn't close.
But looking at their physiques, I thought it was, relatively comparable.
Were you there?
I wasn't there. No, I just watched it. So I'm not saying that, I'm not taking anything away from Andrea. She's great, but everybody can be beat.
JB?
True. Yeah, I want to ask something besides the competition stuff, because you hear it all the time, and I've been asked that. What I'm wondering, just want to know is, how is a typical day when you are not in prep or just in off season?
When I'm in
What's going to be like?
I still stick to a pretty regimented schedule. My preps to me aren't hard because it's the same lifestyle I live all year, only I get a little bit more food. I have a job that I go to. I'm a dental hygienist. And so I work full time and I train every day, or, my normal schedule, 3 on, 1 off. And I eat on plan. In the off season, the only difference is I get 1 or 2 free meals a week and my food increases. But other than that, nothing changes for me.
Yeah. And your employer does accept you with sport and gives you a vacation for Olympia or something, or the contest?
Well, she's very supportive of my sport. Yes. As far as, if I make it to the Olympia and I have to take time off, we like discussed all that. I only get so much vacation time, but she's a big believer in following your dreams. And I think that if it came down to it, she'd make whatever accommodations to allow that to happen. So I'm not really worried on that end. I have 3 children that I have to, take into consideration every day. And, I have to, I still have to work, unfortunately, with the life of a bodybuilder. But I make it happen. I've been making it happen. So
that's great. How old are your children?
My daughter is 19. My son will be 17, I think, next week. And then I have a 10-year-old son as well.
Oh, that's the critical age. It's coming up. Yeah, that's great. Okay. So we are not short, but the Vancouver Island is now heading up. What are your plans? Do you have a special preparation, or is just it's normal, or is it I don't know, because the travel is longer than usual?
I'm going to take a little bit more time. I'm really fortunate with my job. I only work 12-hour shifts Monday through Wednesday. So I have Thursday through Sunday off. every week as far as that goes. So I plan on getting to Canada on Wednesday. The show's on Sunday. So I think that'll be enough time because it's about a 9-hour plane ride for me to get there.
So you have to, but you have to enjoy the beautiful sight because Corey's advertisement so green and forest everywhere and
yes, I know. I've been looking
then one day.
So I really wish I could explore when I get there, but it's a lot of rest and keeping your feet up and not putting a lot of stress on your body. So I really only have the day after the competition, a full day to go sightsee and explore. But it's enough. I'll get to enjoy a little bit of it. I'm excited to go someplace new. I pick a lot of my shows based on where they are, based on wanting to see the area or go to a different part of the country that I haven't been, or maybe hopefully go to Romania one day. So I do try to keep location in mind when I pick my shows.
Yeah, that's great. So in beforehand, good luck for the preparation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
AJ?
First of all, Vancouver Pro. Now, listen, this is going to be a slam dunk, correct? Right now, you're going in as the clear favorite. I think we have, who's in it, JB? We have Andrea Sorer. We might have Christina Nicole, but we think New York Pro.
Right.
But you never know. We have Daniela, the girl, Daniela, Danielle Julia Witzel.
Yeah.
She's making her debut for women's bodybuilding. And then we have, do you know who's doing it, Cherry?
No.
I know about Julia. I'm trying to think.
Andrea Sorer, but other than that.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody mentioned maybe, I can't think of her name right now. What's Fit Rockstar's real name?
Isabel Terrell. She's just the not just that, but she's the whole MC or something. She's not doing it.
Okay, because somebody had mentioned maybe she was doing it. I don't know. I really try this, especially getting this close to the show. I try to stay off of IG. I try to just focus on me and not worry about who I'm going to be competing against, because I do get in my head and it doesn't do anything positive for me to be worried about who I'm going up against. I just try to stay focused and come the best I can be. But I do think picking, for me, I think it was a good decision picking the first show of the season. We kind of strategically did that on purpose, knowing that, a lot of the girls might not be ready to jump in until mid-season. And I really want to win. So I want to have enough time to prepare for the Olympia. And so, I'm just hoping for the best.
We're winning Vancouver, obviously, and then you're going to take a long break right away and prep for the Rising Phoenix, correct?
Correct. If they accept me, I definitely want to do the
Of course they will. What do you mean if they will? You're the best. You were this close to beating Acock, and great battle with second place Angie there. So obviously this is hey, who can JB? Would we like to see Anne Moon? She's doing Vancouver with the physique.
I would like
to see if can we see some post on with you and her for female bodybuilding? Is that possible?
Sure. Yeah.
JB, that would be something.
Yeah, that would be something.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if she eventually moves into women's bodybuilding. I think that she could be successful in that division as well. So, but I've met Anne before in Tampa. She's great. I really, I love the way she looks, and I think she's a really sweet person. So I'm excited to reconnect with her again in Vancouver.
We want to thank you for being one of the bright spots of 2022 in women. You made the season because it wasn't the same for us women bodybuilding fans, but you were one of the girls that really brought excitement, condition, symmetry, size. It was so fun to see you up there. The fans on our female bodybuilding DMs were going absolutely each time we post you. You have these very beautiful artistic photo shots that fans are very, very into. And we want to thank you for making our season so much more special. And JB and myself are 100% sure you're going to win this show. And we are 100% sure you're going to make... I think we can see you in that top 7, top 8 at the Olympia. That's the goal, correct?
I hope you guys are right.
Yeah. JB, say something before we go.
Yeah, just want to thank you that you're coming on. It's time for us. It was not sure. I read, and yeah, wish you best of luck for the preparation, and we'll see you on the stairs, winning stairs in Vancouver.
It sounds good. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much, and thank you for all you do to support the sport. It's very important, and I hope you can continue to do it for a long time.
I hope so.
Yeah, you know, JB, he almost died this.
I know.
He was editing Andrea Shaw videos, and all of a sudden.
Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better. And
thank you very much, Sherry. Thank you.
This wouldn't be the same without you. So, take care of yourself.
I will.
And
thank you.
JB, we are
out.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.